Angels Overcast. We're here with Trish Kane from Healerverse, and I'm super excited to have her here with me today. And Trish, I've moved to South Florida 4 years ago, and I've seen Trish around, and she does some really cool things with her life here. So can you tell the audience about Healerverse, first of all?
Sure, and thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing introduction to be sitting here with you today. My name is Trish Kane. I am the CEO and founder of Healerverse. And Healerverse is a platform that supports the ascension of humanity through different types of spiritual and holistic practitioners and an amazing community and events and experiences. My goal really was for people to find healing and better conversations locally in their community and also globally, worldwide.
So what inspired you to start Healerverse?
That's a fair question. Well, it was 2020. And towards the end of 2020, I moved to Colorado from Delray Beach, Florida, and I could not find any practitioners like spiritual or holistic near me. And at that time, additionally, practitioners were getting censored on social media and taken off social media and deplatformed, and I figured I should probably do something about it and that there was something happening behind the scenes. It didn't make sense to me. For the first time ever, I was noticing, why are they not allowing this stuff to come out in public when it's helping people? It helped me so much.
That's amazing because you took action.
Yeah, that's it. I kind of was like this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something about it, but I didn't really tell anybody. I told 2 people for the first couple years, really, while it started to manifest in my mind and then in the technology too.
And so now it's been live 15 months, 24 months?
Yeah, actually, you just hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. We were in beta for quite some time, and we have been officially out of beta for the past year.
Nice. Okay. And what are your plans for it? What's the vision? What do you think God or the divine is calling you with Healerverse?
So in the nearest future, we're going to launch an iOS Android app where people can go and heal in groups and find practitioners to work with, and also social media that's off of the mainstream social media, and still have the event ticketing on there so that way people can use the event ticketing to promote their events. I really want people to be able to find friends near them that are like-minded. It is hard to find this type of community when everything is so fragmented and spread out, and finding friends. It's hard for me even to this day.
So somebody listening to it right now, how would they get to Healerverse? What's the website?
Yeah. The website is 5D, like the fifth dimension where I went when I saw the angels. Healerverse, Healerverse.com.
And when the app is out of beta, they'll be able to access it off that website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about other social handles or anything like that? I know you're big on LinkedIn, I believe.
Yes, we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're most active on Instagram. We actually also got deplatformed at 10,000 followers last year. No, it was a year and a half ago already. But right before the new, the administration, the current administration came in, I think, there was a big sweep that happened, and that way they could take their last shot at us.
We're going to go down a few rabbit holes here
today. Okay, let's go down rabbit holes, brother. Let's do this.
So I know we talked a little bit this week, and so I know you started out waitressing when you made your journey. So how do you go from there to implementing a platform that's going to change the world?
That is such a cool question. So I lived in a halfway house in Boca Raton, Florida. After I got out of rehab in 2015, I was out of rehab, living in a women's halfway house called Awakenings. It's no longer there. And I was recently out of a coma and everything. And it was a wild ride, that's for sure. And I was waitressing at a place called Tom Sawyer in Boca. And it was just a breakfast spot. It opened from 7 o'clock until 2 o'clock. And I was working in a phone room selling, the stuff that you sell in a phone room in South Florida, basically. And I moved out of the halfway house at about 9-10 months into my journey, and I was living with these girls, and they were getting their master's degrees. Mind you, I'd always wanted to get my master's degree, but I couldn't stop drinking. So kind of, I started to get my master's, and I dropped out earlier after I graduated with my bachelor's. So I was getting my master's degree then too. I signed up. I was going at FAU in Boca full time. And then I was like working at a treatment center. I was there for a year and a half working in the treatment center as a BHT. Then I was asked to do more of the administrative work and basically was running all the operations. I think they had 150 clients at a time. It was a big treatment center, Boca House, Awakenings, Treatment Alternatives. And then fast forward, I resigned and I slept for like a month and a half. My brain was still kind of like recalculating from all the trauma that I went through earlier. And I graduated from my MBA, and then I started working for a company called Taylor and Francis that's owned by Informa. And I was selling digital databases and digital content to the government, the military, and universities. And South Florida was my territory. And not South Florida, like South Florida deeply, because there's so many universities here, but then also the whole southeast of the U.S. up to like North Carolina. And once 2020 hit, they let us work from home. That was a huge blessing for somebody like me. I basically, even when I was in the phone room, and I told my boss, like, I'm getting my master's degree. I cannot come here anymore. Like, this is a lot of work. He said, Trish, just sit here. Just come in. Just sit here. Do your homework. Like, because I would, like, this is not ego. I would do in a few hours what it would take people weeks to do in sales. So he's like, just sit here. And so fast forward, over lockdown, I wound up moving to Colorado, and I flipped my house. I was an early crypto adopter, and I had some money in the bank. And that's kind of like how I just figured it out. Once I decided I wanted to do this Healerverse thing that had a nickname called Ethers, actually, it had like a code word, I kind of came to the conclusion that you just figure it out. And no one knows what they're doing. No one. That's what I realized from being in some more exclusive rooms and stuff. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So when did you realize you're a high performer?
I think I always was. Yeah, like I was in resource room as a kid and all that stuff. Like, I don't function like everybody else. I don't think everyone has their own superpowers. Everybody's super unique, but I always my brain is ChatGPT. Like, it calculates stuff at a very fast pace.
And yeah, so for my journey, I have the bipolar disorder label.
Amazing.
So you live past the label. So
Yes.
What the world views as a malady has actually become a superpower. And
Yeah.
I don't think that message gets out there enough. So what are some, you talked about the self-care where you had to let your brain rewire and kind of defrag from the past career. So what are some other self-care practices that have served you over your years?
Yeah, so I would say meditation, breath work, working with different practitioners, hot baths. I love a nice bath. Tea, there's something amazing about drinking a cup of tea and just nurturing it and thanking your food when you're eating it and thanking thank you for nourishing my body. Walking is huge. A lot of my gurus will say, go for a walk. That's a really profound thing. And looking at the stars at night is my favorite thing to do. Nobody talk to me. I just want to look at the stars, It's my favorite thing to do. Cooking, reading, even technology is self-care for me. My brain, like I said, is so similar to ChatGPT that sometimes it's actually super therapeutic to sit there and create. And doing stuff with technology and coming up with systems it's like self-care.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
let's get specificity on the tea, because I know there's certain teas for certain
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Talk to me. What at night? What's the type of tea?
So actually, one of the Healerverse practitioners, Jennifer, she has her own tea line, and it's called If the Herb Fits, because her last name is Fitzgerald, and she literally has flowers in the tea that she goes and picks, and she's local here in Florida, and I highly recommend her teas. In a pot, actually, we'll just put a ton of her tea, maybe some cloves and chives and some cinnamon, boil the heck out of it. I don't know if I'm doing it right, by the way. I'm not a tea expert. She is. She actually is on one of the Healerverse round tables recently. You can check that out. I interviewed her. She's amazing. She's a tea expert, but I just love it. There's something about it and drinking it. I wasn't feeling well, actually. I had like a bug bite back in January, and it really made me very sick. And I basically put all this stuff in the pot, and it gave me a fever. And then I felt better a few days later. I just allowed the fever to happen. It needed to burn whatever it burned, and then I felt so much better after that.
Okay. And when you mention cooking, do you follow specific nutrition?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 99% completely plant-based. Sometimes I'll eat honey, or I'll have the pizza or the ice cream if it's around and I feel like having it. But I have not had meat since 2021.
And what has that done for your cognition?
It makes me feel a lot more connected to animals and plants and the spiritual realm, and kind of like clears out my vessel more so to be more connected to things around me. It's helped me with decision making and kind of moving faster too.
Okay. So that's what I've noticed so much with mental health. That's my first question, because there's
Yes.
studies with the ketogenic diet is extremely great for mental health. And then so a lot of times people get referred to me with mental health, and I'm like, how's your diet? And I'm like, I'm just eating crap, and crap in, crap out is kind of what happens, you know? So what has been some of your experiences that you observe with people dialed in their nutrition?
That's such a cool question, and I couldn't agree more. Everybody on Healerverse will agree with you on that, and I don't think that a diet is one size fits all. I do not go around promoting to not eat meat. I don't personally care what anyone does, but in my experience, like if I eat shit, like if I have ice cream or pizza, like I'm gonna be sluggish the next day, especially with like pizza, or like sometimes actually I feel like I need it, but like if I am on that consistent like pizza every day, and I'm not saying pizza is always this thing, but like eating out a lot, it's not good for my brain. And I notice that I will get depressed, or my mind won't be functioning very well, and I'll be very lethargic the next day.
I was talking to a friend this morning, and we were talking about eating organic and proper nutrition.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just so expensive. And I was like, well, bro, what does it cost you? What's the return on investment when you eat wrong? That depression, the unclear thoughts, it's like all this stuff like snowballs into dysfunction everywhere. I've seen it so much over my years, and just in life and recovery and business and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's super cool that you just said that, because I feel like especially people that are in recovery, we are so sensitive. There's a reason that we became addicts and alcoholics. It's very much a personality, even though I believe that every single type of drug even has a different personality attached to it. Like I can automatically guess that cocaine was your thing based on your personality. Am I right?
No.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
right,
Alcohol?
right. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Was it opiates?
No, it's just straight alcohol. Yeah.
You don't have the opiate personality. That's why.
It's so funny to say that, because I've done
so random.
Yeah, I've done catering jobs, and guys are like, I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, you do coke, don't you? I was like, I'm sober 7 years at the time. Just very high, wired. Yeah.
So if you were to do a drug, it would be Adderall or cocaine. It just is an inference that I've noticed. Certain personality types do certain drugs. I don't know what it is. Like on people, I can see an entity on them depending on what drug they're on, actually. And like heroin is black. Marijuana is a little bit lighter than that. Cocaine is like yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can physically see the colors?
Yes.
Nice.
And my dog can too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an entity or what it is. It's an entity, really. Like we open ourselves up to different substances, and yeah. And alcohol is, it actually makes me nauseous to say that word. Is that weird? Alcohol, I'm like, eh. But yeah, the diet thing, I think, is just the sensitivity too, that we're going to be more prone to getting affected by our diet because we're so sensitive.
When you were talking earlier about the self-care, so the grounding, walking outside and the stars and nature, I definitely related to that so much. And it's just like, I'll be in recovery-based locations and I can feel the energies that you see. I can feel them viscerally. And so I'll ground and I'll shake like a dog almost gets into. I'll have to shake it off my body. Like I said, we weren't going to do any rabbit holes, but we may go down there. Like what's some other like grounding practices you do?
Yeah, so I hide in the bathroom a lot. I do. I go to a lot of, events with a lot of people. Even the last Healerverse event, I went in the bathroom a lot. Like I need a specific type of energy around me at this certain point. Otherwise, it's hard for me. But I know that ultimately I do have to go places and bring my, like wisdom and knowledge and personality, and bring Healerverse and just collaborate with people in a beautiful way. But at the same time, it takes a lot out of me. My dog is amazing because he also will feel the energy of specific places or people. And we are so telepathically in sync and energetically in sync that we got to go. The dog.
Nice.
Certain restaurants, I love putting my feet in the ground. I've been craving the mountains so much lately.
I went out to Utah 2 or 3 years ago. Beautiful out there. Have you been out there?
Yes. Yes. I lived, when I was living in Colorado, my friends and I, we drove out to Moab for a couple days. And then and then we drove up to Salt Lake City, the dog and I. My dog has been all over the world with me.
So the energy, I know you've traveled a lot of places. Where was the best energy you felt in a physical location? Like what vibe with you best, do you think?
You know what's so funny? I went to this well-being like resort. It's more of like a retreat center, and it's up, and it's called Chosen. It's like Melbourne or something. It's about an hour and a half north of here, maybe an hour and 10 minutes north of my house or less. And when I went there, I felt the love of the land. I felt how loved it is there and how celebrated. You can feel that it's been loved for years, like decades, centuries. When I went to Egypt, it was the exact opposite. It was hostile. It was like, oh my God, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I think some of that for me was definitely like the energy there. I can feel things happening there. Some people love it. They go there, they're like, this is the best thing that ever happened. That's not my experience there. And then I also had past lives there, so that could possibly be part of it as well. Some of the past lives that I've had that I really healed from when I was there.
And what was that process look like? So I did, it's a book, Many Lives, Many Masters. I read that opened me up. Yeah. So shadow work, I've geeked out on a few different things, wrote letters, a lot of, I guess it's called Jungian psychotherapy a little bit. One of my coaches does a lot of Jungian. And so, I've definitely healed some stuff, maybe from this life or from other lives and stuff like that. And what are some of your experiences with that? Because I can feel it from you. Yeah.
It's so funny you mentioned that book. That book changed my life because, I died and came back in this timeline, like, as you know, from 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't die and come back like that. What? And that's why I love the name of this too. Everybody take note. Angels over addiction. But that book took me a long time to read because I took it slowly. I needed to sort of integrate it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it made so much sense all of a sudden in reading that. And then that's when spirit started to come to me shortly thereafter as well, in the neighborhood, and different animals started to approach me, different symbolism. Some of the stuff that I've done has been traveling to Israel and Egypt, and I've done the Akashic Records. So there are Akashic Records practitioners that you can go, and I mean, I could lead people in that too, but you say a specific prayer and then you're able to go into the records, which is essentially a library of all of our lives, like as a soul, past, present, future, and probably all at the same time too. Because I mean, man, I've timeline hopped before too. It depends how connected I am and how little I'm doing actually, and allows me to kind of like go to different realms. But that's a really cool thing to do. And I see in some of my past lives a lot of the family members repeat. A lot of the people that come into our lives, you're like, I know you already. Like, I've met you in a past life, because you feel like you already know them, and it's because you do.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of my coaches this week, he sent me a cool meme, a soul contract. Could you explain what that is?
Yeah. So a soul contract is kind of something that you agree to come here and work on. And it could involve another person as well. Sometimes you have a soul contract with somebody, and until you fulfill that soul contract with them, you're going to keep coming back and doing it over and over and over again until you learn that lesson together. So I know for a fact that you know one of my family members that I have had a soul contract with, and I believe that we're breaking it this time around, because in a lot of past lives, he was not always my family member, and he killed me like 3 times. So this time I'm banking on the fact it's not going to happen this time.
Yeah, so the reason why my coach brought it up to me, so my father was like my hero, everything to me. And so he passed 18 years ago. And my coach knows him. He was a family friend, and my coach is a family friend, so he knew my father well. And so when my father passed, I had my last manic episode. I was 9 years sober. And so I had to go back to the same psychiatric unit that I first got sober in. And so we tried to hide that from my father, because we didn't want, he was dying from a kidney transplant. But like what I've realized over the past, like if he didn't have that experience and I didn't have that experience, we would not be sitting here in South Florida talking about angels over addiction or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just funny. Like it's almost like the Messiah, like he died for me to have my life the way it is and to help other people. So it's like, now I interpret what a soul contract is. You've mentioned your story, 86 Degrees, and like my viewers don't know it. So if you want to just give a Reader's Digest version of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually we were talking about this the other day and saying because I'm like, you know what? I want to rewrite a new story, and I feel like I'm going through another birth right now. So I'm happy to tell you guys, what happened, right? So November 16th, 2014, I died of a cocaine overdose. My mom had a feeling something happened to me, and she called, I don't know if it was 911, whatever. The paramedics went to the house with the security and the police. They found me 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 30 degrees Celsius. And basically, I was non-responsive. I had vomited and I had choked on it, but I really died of the cocaine overdose. And they resuscitated me twice and brought me back. Then they called my mom and said, I guess somehow they called my mom and said that I died, actually. And I didn't find that out until 10 years later, that she actually thought that I was dead for a while. And at this time, I went through a tunnel to the other side. Like, I was on in this tunnel for a while on like a boat. And from many lives, many masters, I realized that everybody has a different experience when they die and go elsewhere, right? My experience was that I was on a boat, and once I got to the end of the tunnel, there was a big cave, and it was kind of like a cave tunnel the whole time. Mind you, I'm still on the boat. But then I came out of my body and I saw my feet and my legs. But I did not know, hey, those are my feet and my legs. I knew somebody died. And then there was two angels there, but they didn't have wings. It wasn't like that. One of them definitely looked like an angel. She was gorgeous. Beautiful woman, like it didn't have wings, but like she's definitely from the angelic realm. And then there was a littler guy that was there too. And I heard it's not supposed to happen like this. It's not supposed to happen like this. And I equate that now to my higher self saying, like, I didn't want to come back here, by the way. Like, I did not want to come back here. And then when I looked up, there was like a whole group of people like further up there, like picture like a stone wall right here, like it's a big opening, and then up there was a ledge up there, but it was like a house or something, and there was people up there celebrating Christmas. Somehow I wound up there, and I was trying to talk to the people up there and tell them somebody died, you know what I mean? And but nobody was paying attention to me. Nobody could hear me or see me or anything. A month ago, I went back. I went into meditation and I said, take me back to that moment. What was the discussion that I had? Because they didn't show me that. And I had a healer say to me, did you ever go back and say, hey, what was the discussion? Why did you have to come back here? So I did. I did this about a month ago on a Saturday. And I woke up and I took the dog out and I laid back in bed and I said, let's go into meditation. Tell me, what did you send me back for? Show me. And I was able to go back to the conversation that I had, and it was with the Palladians. And I said, I don't want to go back. And I was arguing with them. They said, you have to go back and you have to turn on the light grid. And my higher self has a sense of humor, let me tell you, because I was like, no, like you're out of your mind, turn on the light grid. Like that's a lot of work. Like I'm not doing that. Mind you, at this point in time, I didn't know what a light grid was. And if in this reality, in this 3D realm, if somebody like had this conversation with me in 2014 said, go turn on the light grid, I would think they're nuts in this realm, right? Because I've changed. But like back then, wherever I went and whoever I was speaking to, I guess the Palladians potentially, when they said, go turn on the light grid, like I knew what they were saying, like in that dimension, realm, whatever you want to call it. Go turn on the light grid. I was like, how do I know what to do? And they were like, stay in touch. Stay in touch. I'm like, stay in touch, like you're nuts. But anyway, they wound up like, all right, I don't want to jump over too much. I'll go here though. Okay. So they have stayed in touch. They started staying in touch in 2021, 2022. Late 21 in breathwork, 22 appeared in the sky. But anyway, back to the coma. So after this whole experience, I was in a 9-day coma on life support. I guess they called my mom again and said, she's alive, but you better get here. And so she did. She rushed or whatever. 9-day coma. I wake up in Jupiter Medical Center. Went in the MRI machine, found out I had 2 strokes. My left eye didn't move back and forth. My face was droopy. I was wrecked. I couldn't speak, think. I wanted to think so badly, but my brain was so damaged from the strokes. I couldn't feed myself. They had like the PT and OT showed me like how to feed myself. Oh my God, my poor mother, because PT came and OT. I think it was OT came. They broke up all these crackers. I was like learning how to eat again. I was going like this. I didn't know where my mouth was because I was so messed up. Some stuff took days. Some stuff took weeks, months, years to heal. I literally didn't have peripheral vision on my left eye for years. Then I did a theta meditation with a healer that I learned from. She was my teacher. And my DNA upgraded, and all of a sudden I had peripheral vision. And I went to the doctor. They're like, we can't find anything wrong with you. One of them said to me, and my mom was there, are you sure you had 2 strokes? My mom walked out the room. She was so pissed because she like went through all this stuff, you know? But over the years, a lot has been revealed that was not revealed at the time and continues to unveil and reveal itself. When the Palladians did come to me in 22 for the first time in the sky, they gave me some serious messages.
Yeah, so as I'm listening, as this interview is going, so that's right around the same time Healerverse started to come. So was Healerverse the light grid, or?
I think it's part of turning on the light grid. Yeah, it is. It's part of turning on the light grid.
And then I just want to, so OT is
Yes.
occupational therapy, PT is physical therapy.
Yep.
Palladian, so that's a star seed, right? So there's ideologies that a lot of us are born at a certain time, and that's a star center. I've geeked on some content. You know it way better than me, just because some of my viewers may have no idea
Yeah.
so
You might not, they might not watch the rest of this.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's really interesting? Like, I am very 3D, like Trish Kane, MBA, healer. You know what I mean? I've I've educated the parliament on blockchain and all this stuff. Like, I can hang in both realms, but I think it's a type of galaxy. And one time I said, where are you? Are you up there, out there? Da, da, da. And they said, you're too human. You'll never understand. So I understand that.
No, it's fun. I've had a friend, and I'm a mentor to him for like 10 years. He's like, you got to watch the movie The Matrix. And I never watched The Matrix. And then I watched The Matrix. I'm like, oh my God, that is it. Because Trish Kane, NBA, has to wire up, go do this business thing. And then she unplugs. And then you go into the other realm. So that's what I call it. So between the hours of 9 and 12, I have to sell to make money to fund the nonprofit. So I'm in the Matrix from 9 to 12, and I'm making money for the business, and which in turn pays my business. So it's like we all have to dance in different levels a little bit, is what I've learned. So like, how do you help other, I guess the phrase is light workers? Like, what's been your experience, like meeting them and working with them and coaching them or being coached by them?
Yeah, so I think we do the best we can at Healerverse. The ones that we have right now are amazing. The practitioners and healers on there, they're amazing. They're like family, and some of the stuff that I do is I invite them places. We have the platform. We do the round table every single Friday at 10:30 where we feature one of the practitioners. All the healers and practitioners on Healerverse are super elevated, highly intellectual, and mostly accredited. Like, they have commas next to their name. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And they've studied whatever they're doing, Some of the stuff that I try to do to help them is sometimes, honestly, they have very high expectations of what I'm going to do for them. And it's like my job really is just to bring everybody together. And I do as much as I can for them, even spreading myself thin sometimes, And if it's not the right fit for them, then there's other opportunities to go to other platforms and whatnot. But I really love the community that we have and the platform that we have. It's amazing. Like, I'm doing different things than everybody, like any other platform. Recently, I just last week signed a contract that Healerverse is going to be doing a movie ticketing platform for pre-sales for a movie. It's the same group that did Sound of Freedom, and it's called Red Card, and it's going to be coming out in the fall. So that's going to bring millions of people to the Healerverse brand and name, and for eons to come. And we definitely need to help with some of the issues that are happening. It's human trafficking, children trafficking. People don't even realize what's happening out there. Like, I didn't know the depth, but that was one of the downloads that I got from the Palladians the first time that they came to me in the sky in 22 was to help with this. Yeah. So the healers are there now. And really, I'm trying to look for bigger opportunities to bring bigger people to the platform and bigger amounts of people And that way they're there to help because they're brilliant.
Okay. Is there like a membership fee for a user or a subscription or anything?
Nope,
like that?
not right now. It's free to join.
Okay.
Practitioners pay $44 a month or $444 a year.
I
You
love
also,
that.
yeah,
Angel
yeah.
number,
There you
angel
go.
number, yeah.
Yeah, and then also we have like a SaaS platform that they're welcome to upgrade to. Yeah, and that's
Okay, so let's say, Bob from Lake Worth wants to get in on Healerverse. He would pay the individual practitioner, or like how did the?
yeah. So we have
Yeah.
event ticketing on there. So if people are doing events, they can buy, sell, share intra-platform and actually
Okay.
externally too, just like Eventbrite. On the platform, there's courses on there with practitioners. Only practitioners are able to put courses on there. And then, yeah, you can find practitioners on there to work with. You can private message them. You can post on your wall. You can check out our YouTube channel.
Nice.
There's a lot to do. We're really building up content and experiences.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm thinking, so like, what is the next step for it? Like, so you have that big ticket coming with the movie,
Yeah,
and then this is part of all the download from above.
yeah.
Like, what do you see in the future?
Yeah, so basically what I'm creating right now is a conscious gift-giving ecosystem. And it's going to allow us also to take bigger partnerships and stuff with products, services, practitioners, like bigger companies, and really bring people into the Healerverse ecosystem. We're definitely going to launch an app, and that's going to be easier. So you can go on demand to a practitioner, find events easier, and yeah.
I know your stuff with blockchain. Is cryptocurrency part of the payment system on there? Or
Not currently, but
okay.
it definitely is in the works. Yep.
Give cryptocurrency overview to somebody that has no idea what it's about. Just
Okay.
yeah.
So right now there's a lot happening. I want to preface it with that. This is not financial advice. The cryptocurrencies that I used to F with, I don't anymore, I'll put it that way. Because since I was an early crypto adopter, like I'm talking about like 2016, which is still kind of early compared to other people, and it's still kind of early right now. We're really just seeing institutions start to like implement crypto and blockchain right now. Early on, it was very much Ethereum and what was the one? You know what? When Coinbase first launched, what they would do is they would promote a specific cryptocurrency. So, oh, so-and-so is coming to our platform soon. So I would go on Uphold, for example, purchase that cryptocurrency, wait for it to come out on Coinbase, and then I would go, doot, and then I would sell it. It was like so common sense-ish, you know? Today, the SEC last week just came out with different, for the first time ever, really, notification that there's like 10 cryptocurrencies, XRP, Bitcoin, XLM. You could go Google what they are, the SEC website, are actually now classified as commodities. So we have a classification for the first time as of last week about cryptocurrencies. It's been a gray area for a long time. So I can't tell you what to buy. The Federal Reserve just hooked into certain cryptocurrencies too. So go check that out. XRP, I will drop that name, is doing huge things. I spoke to their team about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They have really good on-rail and off-rail, basically they've been spending all their money on technology infrastructure. They're going to be integrating into the banking system. So like a lot of the banks are going to be able to use the XRP infrastructure. It really was never built for a buy-sell model. But a lot of people obviously do that. It's very low cost because I think that they've been spending so much money on building out banking infrastructure that we're going to see that go up in the future. But again, this is not a forecast, none of that. Because obviously when you first start a company like they did, and they were halted, I mean, they were crucified. Yeah, everyone's stuff was frozen, yada, 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 you know. Now we're seeing a lot of forward movement with that. Also, yeah, the Federal Reserve, the SEC. I mean, everything's still coming out. We're waiting for the Clarity Act to pass. Trump basically said he's going to wait until the SAFE Act passes. But I saw also this week that he did something ninja, because he's always 5 steps ahead. Whether you like him or not, he's 5 steps ahead. He knows what they're going to do. So then he's like, and then they're going to do this, and they're going to do this. So I'm going to go over here. What he did was he gave the power back to the individual respective states as far as the voting goes, because we really wanted to see basically that if people that are actually from the U.S. are going to vote. So he said, I'm not doing anything with the Clarity Act until you guys pass this SAFE Act. But I don't know if we're going to bypass that now, because he gave the power back to the respective states when he signed an executive order this week. I don't know. So once the Clarity Act passes, that'll be really cool too, and that'll have a lot of information in it about what's actually going on. So we have some clarity.
That's amazing. Like that, so much about different subjects and can dance in both worlds so well.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Like in 22, I was living in London, and we brought blockchain to the UK Parliament for the first time, my friends and I. It was NFT NYC London, and basically the Parliament government in the UK, it opened up its doors to a bunch of us knuckleheads to come in there and educate them on blockchain. And there's been many events since then.
And blockchain is the underlying technology beneath crypto, right?
Yes.
That the servers around the world
Yep.
communicate as a decentralization of the financial system.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So there's not even really servers. That's
Okay.
like the difference between blockchain. It's everywhere. Picture like all scattered around. Sometimes my brain's still from the strokes, like scattered. But you could picture building blocks, and you can hack the blockchain. Actually, I want to kind of talk about that for a second too. But it's basically like, instead of like having it on servers where it's kind of like open, it's data gets stacked on top of each other, and there's no turning back. So it's like blocks.
Right.
Picture blocks for blockchain. So now there's a thing called quantum computing, right?
Explain that to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quantum computing is like AI times 1 million.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you think about back in the day when we had mainframes. I don't know how old you are. You might be younger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So do you remember mainframes? Okay.
Is that the Commodore 64, that little MS-DOS thing?
So mainframes was like the first computer, and they took up a whole entire building, right? Yep. And then they took up a couple rooms, and then they took up a room. So basically, now quantum computing is very similar. Now we're like on our phones, like, what? How did we get there, There was the car phones that you had to pick up, and they were attached. Phones used to be attached. Basically, quantum computing is like AI, but it takes the data from everywhere in the world and moves so quick that it's un-effable. It is so fast. So, like, you can make decisions way faster than AI. Like, it's so quick.
Wow. So now let's bring it back into the other side of your life here. So
now. Oh, wait, one more thing about that. So quantum computing just caught up to be faster than Bitcoin. So a Bitcoin transaction on average takes about 10 seconds to go from one wallet to the next or to go on chain, right? Now, quantum computing is like 9 seconds. So Bitcoin is in trouble, if you ask me. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, so they could get... So that 1 second is a big difference in the financial world.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yep. XRP is like 2 to 3 seconds.
Okay. So now with Healerverse and then your call from above.
Yeah.
Your knowledge with blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, is there a correlation between what you know how to operate in crypto world, and then you have light workers throughout the world? Is that part of your download, or?
Yeah, so my forecast is that we're going to an entirely digitally based ecosystem financially, and it's going to be gold backed or commodity backed. And I believe that we're going to see that sooner than you can even imagine. Maybe even by the time we walk out of here. I think banks are going to go bye-bye. I think that, XRP just became a bank 2 days ago. It's a custodial bank. We've never seen this. We are in such a groundbreaking historical time, like in the tech world. Healerverse is definitely going to be doing as much as we can to get practitioners basically geared up. But additionally, they're the most enlightened people. I feel like they are the ones that are taking part in breaking the mold of society and all this stuff that doesn't make sense, like rewiring our brains, getting rid of limiting beliefs. Like, if anybody's going to do it, give it to a healer. The Web3 community and the healer community are so similar. They're so similar.
Yeah, so my experience after my father passed, I was telling you that. So
Yeah.
manic episode, go back into cognitive-based therapy for 9 to 10 years. And my therapist helped me through the grief, did the grief work. But then it's like, I'm stuck to his limiting beliefs and they get imposed on me.
Ooh.
So then I enter as a coaching client, hey, I would like to live in Florida. And it was like, okay, well, what's the clarity? What do you need to do to get down there? And then I start looking forward. Now, you talk about a lot in your book here. The system, the healthcare system, does not recognize coaches, for one. They're starting to a little bit in coaches, but healers. So, like, my best expression of life came when I went outside the matrix or outside the box. What do you see in the system? Like, what would you say to somebody who's like, wow, Trish is talking some cool stuff. Some stuff's over my head. What do I do?
Like, where do you find stuff, or like, what do you?
To like find your best version. Because I know, like, I'll get a call today later for someone that needs treatment. I'll have to get the front of their mental health, their insurance card, their back, and their date of birth.
Yeah.
And put them into the matrix.
Yeah, so I think it depends, right? Like, some services are covered by FSA and HSA, so people can try that. My prayer is that, and I did hear some rumors, potentially spiritual and holistic practitioners will eventually fully be covered by health insurance. There's some stuff that I can't say on camera too, I would say, but we're going to expect a lot of big changes this year alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all of my coaches I work with are out of pocket, and then the return on investment, the ROI, is exponential.
Oh, yeah.
So what's been your experience working with coaches?
Yeah, I would say the same. And also, it's evolving and changing. So people that I used to relate to, I no longer can relate to anymore. I outgrew them, or I went sideways, or whatever. Not sideways in a bad way. Just like, I don't like to say that I went above or below, or I like sideways, more of like a even playing field. I'm definitely blessed that I have amazing healers all around me, and really, you can just come to the Healerverse Roundtable or check out the YouTube, and you're going to get a healthy dose of really profound stuff and see somebody that you could possibly work with. I mean, right now, stuff is out of pocket, and who you vibe with today isn't maybe who you're going to vibe with a year from now. Because we master whatever we need to master with that specific relationship, and then we can move on,
When you're talking about your personal journey some years ago, when you're in the halfway or moved out of halfway, and then you're around some girls that were getting their masters, and the old saying came up to me, this woman in back in Jersey where I got, so she would say, birds of the same feather flock together, or like you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. How much has that helped your journey by up-leveling to different people that were doing cooler shit than you?
Yeah, that's pretty much naturally what I've always done. And it's not even like I'm trying to get anything out of them. I just feel like since I was a little girl, I never fit in the box. Like, no school I went to was ever big enough for me. Like, no room was ever big enough for me. I naturally just gravitate towards winners, and also towards people that I can help, because that's it. If there's no in between, like, even when I was in the halfway house, I did not have a lot of friends from the halfway house. I had a lot of old timer people that had recovery for decades, and I spent time with them. Because there was a lot of nonsense happening in a girl's halfway house with there wasn't a little house either. I mean, there was like 70 girls or something, like maybe more in this place. And like, I got in really a lot of trouble in rehab, and I really wanted to stay sober. So I just kept reaching for like who can like help. I'm not really good at asking for help. I think just energetically, I'm also like an old lady in a way that like I don't have time for gossip. I don't have time for nonsense. I really don't like problems. I like to bring a solution. And unless we can be in that mindset and gossip free, I don't want it.
And so you had that from the rip, getting out of treatment and into the halfway. It was like I always kept it moving. I was told the cool kids don't last, so I was just hanging out with the old heads. Yeah.
Same. I remember sitting in treatment and they said, I forget how many people were in this room. There was like 50 people in there. They said, maybe one of you is going to make it. And in my head, I said, it's going to be me. I didn't care like how many defects I had, how much I was messing up in other like, isms and stuff. I'm like, there's no way. Like I can't, because I already died. And I just also like, I don't want to die, but also I don't want to be miserable. And I've had times in recovery that I've been miserable because I've hired the wrong people like, you know what I mean, that I literally am asking plumbers to be electricians. Like it's all a learning lesson, like it's all a learning lesson. I've wasted a lot of time and energy, and like I see too, like the more that I'm working on myself and I stay working on myself, the better people that I attract. And also, the earliest thing that I learned is like, what can you bring to a situation instead of what you can take away? And one of the isms that I still have is people pleasing sometimes. Like, because I'm so driven, somebody will ask me to do something and I will take it to the moon, which is fun for me actually, but still, it doesn't always like pay off.
I love that, and so I suffer from that as well. Not suffer. Suffer's too strong of a word. The wounded healer sometimes, where you've got this healing syndrome where you got to help so many other people, but then you're not doing that self-care, taking care of yourself. I've seen that so much. There's an exact phrase for, I forget what it is. We'll have to edit this out, of course, but it's like guys are looking so much to help other people, but they're not taking care of themselves, and then they burn out and suffer tremendously. I've seen it countless times. February was 27 years I've been in recovery. I'm just like blessed, but to be around, thank you. Yeah, so just coming in at 26 years old and like, just seeing so much over the years, it's crazy. Like guys will go out and help. But I'm like, bro, you got a big thorn in your own eye you got to take care of, my man, because if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you, is what I've seen over the years. That shadow stuff, And then what got me, the 1 in 50, that pisses me off. So I was told 1 in 37. I'm like, yeah, but I just came out of the psych unit, so what am I, 1 in 99? And then people are talking death over people. Like, so you're saying 98 people are going to die? Like, yo, I'm Mike Dorado from Long Branch, New Jersey. I can't say what Trish Kane needs to do. I know what happened for Mike Dorado. So, like, if you're new and you're like, I'm never going to make it, I can never be where Trish is, no, bullshit. You can do it. What's the word to the newcomer that's like watching this, like, I'll never have an MBA or Healerverse, or what would you say to them that thinks like all this stuff is impossible?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proof, and thank you for sharing that. That's so powerful. So yeah, I mean, I'm proof. Like actually, like I would say the first 6 years, 7 years, 6 years, 6.5, all I thought about was what can I do to get ahead so I can prove to other people that you can do it. Literally, I was doing all this stuff, even maybe some stuff was like hurt because I was doing like Spartan races. Like just to prove that I could flip and do it. You know what I mean? And like all the stuff, like people had so much fun in the CrossFit gym with me. I couldn't even lift the bar. Next thing you know, I mean, it's not next thing you know, it took time. I'm deadlifting 250. I couldn't even walk. Back squatting over 200 pounds, like all this crazy stuff that's actually quite impossible. Like people saw the bar flying out of my hand, the barbell, And like we all were like, what? Like I just was like, I'm gonna prove. I also had a limiting belief though, and I do want to say this because it feels like a divine time to share this. That if I'm stronger, faster, and smarter than you, whatever it is, then you can't hurt me. And also, I had a limiting belief that if I started doing all this other stuff, then I wasn't who I used to be. And at some point in time, I realized that it doesn't matter. You know, I've done a lot of stuff. Even I've been giving myself so much grace recently because I mean, man, the amount of stuff that I've done in 11 and a half years, people have not done in 20, 50. Like, I am a crazy person in a good way. Like, so I need to give myself grace too. But like, life is like a Spartan. Recovery is like a Spartan. Like being an entrepreneur is like a Spartan. You're climbing under barbed wire, you're jumping over the fire, you're doing burpees all the time because you missed the obstacle. Just keep going. That's it. And stay around the right people. I've spent a lot of time by myself in recovery too. I love my dog. He's amazing. He's gone with me to Europe. Like he's been everywhere, and if you have the means and stuff and you could be good to a dog, like go rescue a dog, because they get you out of bed, they get you walking, da da da. My dog is my service dog. He comes everywhere.
Nice. What so the thought is you're talking about the new chapter in your life. So
Yeah.
What's in the new chapter? Talk to me.
Yeah, like I feel like, not lowering my standards, not letting little things bother me anymore, keep reaching for the stars. I'm about to go on tour with Sony and some other people, and we're going to be doing We Are One global tour. I don't know that I'm going to go on the global tour because I also have a lot going on with the movie and all this other tech that we're doing. But yeah, we're going to be in LA in May. This comes out before May, and you want to come
Nice.
meet up with me there. Miami, I think DC. Oh, Costa Rica we're going to. Yeah, this is cool. This is the first time Sony is paying for my trip. So I'm grateful. Honestly, I just showed up in the beginning with a tail in between my legs, scared. And then people were just allowed me to come out of my shell and listen to me. And the new beginning is using my time wisely and also just keep leveling up. And I don't mean I mean the 3D realm too, the 5D realm, the 3D realm. One of the things I'm supposed to learn this lifetime is how to mess with the laws of the universe in the 3D realm. I've already mastered the spiritual realm in my past lives. So really learning about the 3D and the laws of the universe.
What we mentioned, Many Lives, Many Masters. Are there any other books that have really served you in your recovery or just in your spiritual journey? What else would you recommend to the viewers?
I think that's the best one. Yeah. My book. Divine Intervention. Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. I like to listen to astrology. It's so soothing. Yeah.
What about, are there any favorite quotes or Bible verses or anything that you kind of use as what's the word, affirmations?
Yes. So the point of leadership isn't to create more followers, it's to create more leaders. And I remember studying that, I was studying entrepreneurship in my MBA and I read that in a book and that never left me. It's not to create followers, it's to create leaders.
Yeah, that's really the biggest vision I have with Angels Over Addiction, is to establish agency. There's a line in the literature that says he is the principal, we are the agent. So I always say, if I'm going to open a Chick-fil-A, I have to serve chicken.
Yes.
If that's the principle. So joy, gratitude, love, all the fruits of the spirit, as individual agents of a loving creator, we need to show those qualities. And then, so what I see in the recovery community, so many people play small. And they're like, well, I'm just not drinking today and I'm sponsoring 15 guys. And I'm like, well, dude, where's the rest of your life at? You got, on the wheel of life, there's 8 sides to it, and then to establish agency has really been my catchphrase, more or less, to help inspire the next generation of recovery. And then for us as people that have been around a minute and done some cool things, to be a catalyst so their agency happens a little bit quicker. Like, what would you do? Somebody that's like, all right, yo, I see, Trish, I see you. You're balling in recovery. What do I need to do to get to the next level?
I wouldn't even say that I'm balling, honestly. It's like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's like one of those things, like, just like keep going, be humble, like, go take risks. Some people like are too scared to wait or a waitress when they're first getting sober, but like, you never know, mark my words, you never know who you're going to meet. Who's going to take you with them? I mean, seriously, it's all about relationships. And if you're going to hang out with people that are talking about lower vibrational stuff, that's what you're going to get, and that's what you're going to create, and you're going to keep creating it. If you hang out with people talking about dreams, goals, ambitions, and collaboration instead of other people or lower vibrational stuff, what do you think you're going to get? One of the things I've realized with hanging out with some pretty big time people is that like the conversation is different and people collaborate at the top too, Go create something with your friends, go create a business, go waiter, waitress, go find people that like, and be careful. Protect your recovery at all costs. Date yourself. Go out, get a bottle of Pellegrino, that's what I do, and get a good dinner and get into a relationship with your water. That's what I did, and I still do. I still bring a water bottle or Pellegrino or whatever to people's parties, always. I roll up with water. It could be a really nice place in Palm Beach Island. I have a drink with me.
That's so smart.
They're like, you want a glass, Trish? I don't care. I come first. My recovery literally has to come first.
You're going on offense with that, though, too, because now you're not taking the risk of a bartender not understanding it was just a tonic, not a gin and tonic.
Oh, my God.
And it's like people don't understand that, but inside the community, we're like, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. You're creating your own destiny.
Yeah, and I'm not like telling you what to do. Like this
is
my experience. Yeah. Like also in the beginning, I remember looking at the liquor aisle and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, don't go down there. You know what I mean? Not because I wanted to drink, but because like just don't go down that aisle. And now when I see it, I don't even know if I see it. It's so like it could be the mental blank spot one day. Yeah. God willing not. But like, I don't even think about that aisle. You know what I mean? It's like, at first, it's hard as hell. Let's be real, especially alcohol. That's the hardest thing, I think, to quit for me anyway. I went through a really traumatic breakup with alcohol when I actually got sober. That was the love of my life.
So you're really describing freedom. Like, I was asked a question, how free do you want to be? So, like, what are some of the things that provide you freedom today with many years of sobriety?
I love that. That's cool. And I make a gratitude list every day, and it's like freedom from and freedom to. Yeah, no limitations. Like everyone has limitations, but it's if we choose to acknowledge them. And freedom to me is being able to say yes to cool stuff. This stuff was not an option before. I couldn't go on a flight without stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't enjoy anywhere that I went. Everything revolved around drinking. That was it. If I was going to the movies, I was drinking. If I was going on a date, I was hammered and probably crying by the end of the night with my new date. You know what I mean? Now I just can go wherever, do whatever, but always just being, like, yeah, how free do you want to be? Like, you could go anywhere. How cool is that? That's a blessing. What?
It's so funny, too, because it's like that's not a one-time question, though, either.
Yeah.
Because it's like we have to seek freedom now with 27 years. It's like keep like peeling away layers of the onion. Like you never know what's up.
Yeah, and also too, like as I am like more like in places and stuff and social media and whatever, like I know a lot of people want my attention. That was at first hard for me to not look at my phone or whatever. I can only do what I can do every day. So it's like as like you evolve and grow and everything, just keeping yourself first, Also people will try to pull you back down, but like you don't have time for that,
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, obviously you're good on eye contact, and then also you mentioned breath work early on. What box breathing? Like, you want to get specific on there?
I like the trippy kind.
Okay, all right.
But I can't do that every day because I
Okay.
wind up going and crying that I miss my planet.
Right. Okay.
Not everybody is going to have that experience, but because I am already tapped into other realms, I'm able to go a little bit further into different
get it.
frequencies, I guess,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
always wind up crying, so like deeply, and then I'm done for the day. But yeah, I think too, even when I was driving back from Colorado to Florida, I think it was 2022, with the dog, I was doing breathing because by the time I got to Florida, it was such a long drive, and it's not an adventure coming back, it's an adventure leaving Florida.
Right.
This is home now for a while.
Yeah.
Really just, breath is actually everything. Nahanji, I call him, but his name is Nahinji, and he's on Healerverse. He's one of the practitioners. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was the full moon in Libra. Happy full moon, by the way, first one of the new year. And when I say new year, I mean astrological season. If you put down, everybody in the room, try this. Your left big toe, put it down to the ground and try to take a breath in. Do you see how deep that goes? If you put it up and you try to take a breath in, it's not the same. Trick. That's a trick. Not a trick in a, there's different kinds of tricks.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Especially in our world. Something I never did. That's a yet. I thought about it, but I didn't know how. The trick thing. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, a little sober joke there. There's some sober jokes.
So I know you go deep. You mentioned frequencies too. So do you listen to meditation music at 432 or 758, or what's your deal with that? Talk to me.
Yeah, so actually I love house music.
Okay.
Yeah, I love house music. I like 80s. Last week it was country. I just needed a little bit of crying. I needed like
Okay.
a little bit of like heal. It depends. But music is so powerful.
Do you change the frequency level on it though, or are you familiar with that?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not an expert on the frequencies. There's definitely practitioners on Healerverse that know all the frequencies. I love doing drum circles. I love dancing. Everybody, I think, has their own level of expertise and superpowers, but I use music all the time.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
One of the reasons I can't really use the frequencies too much is because of the dog.
Right.
So I had tuning forks, but I gave them away because it was too sensitive for his beautiful, sensitive ears.
What kind of dog is it?
Okay.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it. You mentioned it so much. I've been dying to ask. Yeah.
I'm best friends with my dog. Like, I hang out with him more than anyone. He's a black lab cattle dog mix. And he's 50 pounds. And I mean, this dog is the man. Like, he was my roommate's dog back after, like, I moved. It was like my second apartment out of halfway, and I wasn't anywhere long term. He was my roommate's dog. And that roommate at the time had just kind of rescued him and was moving in with his girlfriend and couldn't keep him because wherever they were moving, maybe. And I said, what are you going to do with the dog? And this poor dog used to hide. Like, and I never had seen anything like that. He was scared of me, and I'm like the dog whisperer. All the dogs, they flock to me.
Right.
It's a thing. And this dog was so scared, and I'm like, this is so weird. I couldn't believe he wouldn't let me pet him and all this stuff. And so we became besties, that dog and I. He's 11 now, ish. I don't know his birthday,
Right.
but he's come such a long way.
Yeah, labs are beautiful dogs, and they're so loving. And it's the unconditional love of a dog that I think that really reflects God a lot. Dog doesn't, dog sees his master, it's just happy to see the master.
Honestly, this dog is my soulmate and my partner. We're so much alike. How scared he was, how scared I was. My brother sent me a letter yesterday that I wrote to him in rehab. And I wrote in that letter how scared I was that I could not drink anymore. that really touched me. Like seeing my words from 2015. No, it was still 2014. So it was November, October, November. I had a date on there, December or whatever. And I wrote, I might be able to come home for Christmas. Like I was so delusional that I thought that they were going to let me go home for Christmas when I was just weeks out of a coma and like,
Right.
you know, but man, that dog is so much like me, to circle back. Like I was so scared of everything. You don't know you're scared when you're just getting sober because you think that you're so tough and all this stuff. I was trying to like beat people up and stuff, but yeah.
So deep. So deep. Yeah.
So deep. Yeah, his name's Mac. Mac's the man. I love that dog. And he's so deep. When you look into his eyes, you see how deep his soul is. He's not a new dog. He's been here before.
My coach says that he has ridgebacks, and that's all he talks about. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always talk to my dog. I think about my dog or I'm with my dog. Like it's like showing people pictures, no matter what country, city, state, town I'm in. I'm like, do you want to see my dog? Like
We're about an hour and 11 minutes.
Okay.
111.
Yeah.
111. Yeah.
Just by you coming on here is support, but it's really like empowering other women is the biggest thing. Because like, as you're talking about that movie, I work with a heavy influencer. So we have 4 dudes rolling up, and then it looks like trafficking on a woman that's on the street. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like, shout out to Victor, the good boss, and Fresh Start team. And it's really just having a safe woman that I can have another woman call. I've got a great friend in New Jersey. She helps women down here. I give them that number. But just to me, know you and to know your heart, and then it becomes all possible. You know, so many nonprofits that have their hands out for grant money and donations. I know how to move business-wise. Donations help, but it's really the giving of energy and love is what really Angels Over Addiction needs, because the recovery community is so diverse and so many people need help, and we're on the front lines really is what we're doing, you know. So just who you are and me being able to get women in contact with you or people you know, it would be so much to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for what you're doing. Literally going in the streets, in the pavement, and like grabbing people out. Like that's one of the things that I regret about like my life today. Like it's not really a regret, but like, man, I was always the one people would call when they were really done. Living in Boca and Del Rey versus Jupiter is different. Like I'm off grid, I'm by myself, right? Like in Jupiter, it's different. In Boca and Del Rey, when people were actually done, they would call Trish, and I'd be like, "Let's go to detox," you know. But like people would go chase them and everything. You know how it is down there. All the newcomers telling each other what to do. I was one of them.
Yeah, it's so cool. So the past 3 weeks we've been going to Broward and giving blessing bags in Broward. So my business card has an 800 number on there. So homeless guy usually doesn't have cell phone service, but he can get on Wi-Fi or hotspot and call my 800 number. So shout out to Thomas. Thomas called me. I met him on Saturday. He called me 3 times on Monday. On Tuesday, we got him, you know, a few still detox stepped up. PBRC was also there for us, and we got him into still detox. He's sober now. He got out of treatment this week. And this is just all like preordained, you know. The kid that was with me, Sean, was on the streets 8 months ago, and Thomas knew him. He's like, wow, kid, I can't believe, you know, so it's just getting resources is the biggest thing and being on the pavement, but we need the other help, because getting sober is one thing, but staying sober is a whole nother ball of wax, you know, a whole nother ball of wax. There's so much underlying trauma and mental health on the street. People don't see it, you know, or they think just because they're in treatment now, it's the after school special when we were young. There's so much more to recovery than just not having the substance in you know? So, yeah. So, like, I just really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out here with us today on a Friday afternoon. And, wow, just amazed. You know, I know we went down a few rabbit holes, but I love rabbit holes, and I love meeting people from that are special. So just really thank you so much for coming out here today, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for everything that you're doing, like being out there, grabbing people out. Like that used to be my favorite thing to do. you know, like going and grabbing people out, like, but also it's like, what do I do? You know, like having almost that adrenaline or whatever. Like the people that I took to detox, God knows how many times. I know 200 and something people that have died since I got sober. And there has to be something that Healerverse can do. And I would like to work on that too, where we can basically, like you said, it's one thing to get sober, but to stay sober is another ball game, right? Because in the beginning, it's like all eyes on getting sober, family support, da da da. Sometimes, unless you really like stole their stuff and like blah blah blah, right? Family's in. They're like, especially the first time you get sober, family's in. Whatever you need, whatever, right? But they think you're healed all of a sudden. You're not healed. I'm not healed. None of us are healed with an ED. I'm healing, right? Like I'm still healing. Still, it's a lot of work. And they say if you're not growing, you're going, right? I love going to a 12-step meeting that I go to. I like traveling because I like going all over the world. It's fun for me. I've gone in every country that I've gone to pretty much except for Egypt. I was too scared, but I did look it up. I was too scared to leave the hotel, to be honest with you. Too scared to leave the hotel. But like it is, long term is one thing, and you know, so I would love to do stuff with Healerverse, and like I need support too. So why don't we team up?
Let's do it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. Check us out. We're available, and holler at us. Thank you and good night.